Yo, what's up guys, it is JF and today I'll be teaching how to make a thumbnail on Adobe Photoshop for 2K YouTubers. Before we get into the video, here's the sponsor of our video. Our sponsor for our video is Fatal Grips. 15% off, code RIDGE off. You guys can get the best grips for PS4, Xbox, and even PC. You guys can get some free hoodies, and if you guys buy any type of grips and use my discount 5 times, I will be giving away a free merchandise from Fatal Grips. Back to the video. So in making our thumbnail, we want to create something with a nice crop out. We want to create something with a nice crop out, and our thing that I like to do is use the pen tool. Others like to use other like apps and all of that. They want to use the eraser. That's what I previously did. But this is the most efficient way, and look, it gets every single edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward this, because cropping and all that, you would rather, for cropping and for the pen tool, you would rather have a lot of things. You would rather cut the whole entire hand and have extras, instead of cutting some of the hand and having just the bulk of the fingers. So I'm going to fast forward this. I'll see you guys when I'm finished.
Like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near, in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares through. I used to run with you through the great big leaves, laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home was just you and me. I thought you were the one for me, that's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me.
So I'm finished with my cropping. What I want to do is I want to have a right click. I want to do make selection. I always want to have 0 pixels. Press OK. Go up to the shape selection over here. Right click and copy. Then after I like to do that, I like to bring my background and I like to hide it from the original. So you see it and it doesn't look clean. You know what I'm saying? There's still a lot left to do. The hair is a little messed up. There's still a lot of insides. What I like to do is I like to use the eraser. You can use a pen tool, but since I'm more flexible with the eraser, because it does erase things like this, because there will still be edges with the pen tool that you may not always get. So you could choose either or. I'm gonna do a quick fast forward of this, and I'll come back.
Close till I get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wasteland. wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go. Through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
After we are done with our cropping and our erasing and all of that, we want to go over to our glow steps. So I made this for people who ever join my Discord. I will leave it in the description, but here is our glow steps that show how to create one of the best glows. So with this one, you always want to have a filled inner glow with darker color, with like a darker red or something, because it shows, but it's a lot more darker. And you always want it to have a screen, which is the type of opacity. Then you always want to have to fill the outer glow with a lighter color, like a light red or something like a light blue, light purple, anything that goes along with your design. And make your gradient overlay to a color dodge, because it can brighten up a player and make the gradient all white. And also make the gradient around 20 to 30%. So I will be showing the example right here. So looking at this 2K player who is truly BC, you have yellow and you have green. What I want to do is I want to have the green in here. This is the outer glow, so you always want to have it lighter. You want to have the size, you want to have it big, but not big enough where it's like something like this, where it's just like an animation or anything. But for inner glow, you always want it to have a dark green, a darker green like that. You always want to have it in. So you see how it looks right here. Then the finishing touch is, like, I like to use something like a gradient. You want to make the gradient all white. When you make it all white, you have it at a color dodge. You put the opacity depending on how it looks. You can have it like this, 20, and you can have it for 22 to 26. I'd say around 23. Then we should be good after that. Then depending on where you want to put your thing, you always want to put it right. You could put it in the middle, you could put it to the right. You don't want to have it like this. You always want to have it against an edge, right down the middle, or on the side. If you can't tell by my thumbnails for A Mikey, I love having it on the left side. It just looks a lot better because it could be a lot more bold. So then you want to stretch it out over here a little bit, so you can show the true amount like this. Next, we are going to show the background. For our background, I consider using the recycle pack. You can get some really nice things out of it. And there's a whole bunch of things where you have to identify on how to use those correctly. So we're gonna take our background over here, and it's gonna be this guy right here taking a nice dunk. Close this out, put it underneath, and I would say you would always want to have it right here, because that's going to be the spotlight of your era. So what you want to do is you want to have this, that, then have it like this. Yes. What I like to do is I like to crop out the player right here. Only the player. I don't like to crop out any of this, just the player, and I'll show you guys what's going on next. For the cutout right here, I like to do the same exact thing as here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to actually copy the layer style. So what I like to do is I like to go to inner glow, make it default, go to gradient overlay, make it default, go to outer glow and make it default. Then we press cancel. We go back to the crop out player, then we will make it exactly the same thing. You may need to change the inner glow a little bit because it can be extremely glitchy, but all in all, you may need to create the gradient overlay. So we're gonna do some of this. Then for the background, you want to have something like you go to image, adjustments, hue saturation. You always want to press colorize because they will make the saturation 25 and it'll make the lightness 0, and you can change between which one you like. So, you know, we cut it out green, so we want to have a green feature. This type of green would make it extremely nice. So we have this. After, we want to show how we can add some very simple steps. So what we want to use is graphics packs. So our graphics packs work very well. We have the 200 subscriber NF Dragon pack and the recycled pack, which is basically created by the same person. These packs really help on what you need for thumbnails, and they're all free, so you can search them up on YouTube, but they will be in the link in my description. I'll be showing that too. And honestly, these two graphics have made me so much money in the thumbnail process that it seriously works. I will open these two up and I'll show you guys. So we have the 200 subscriber Dragon pack, and it has so much things that could help you. It has arches, it has badges, it literally has all the icons of every single 2K, it has all the reps, it has literally everything. It has a 2K21 logo. I do have a better logo that we could use for that, but simply it has everything. It definitely has this thing called color correction that really does work with every single thumbnail you need to make. But the more important GFX is the recycle pack. The recycle pack literally helps you so much. It is unbelievable. You have 2K player cutouts, you have borders, you have effects, you have fonts, you have for you to cut, you have IRL, logos, nature, NBA 2K PNGs, and random PNGs. So you have all of these things. So one of the things that I got from the recycle pack is something called dots. Dots really help with your type of editing and all of that, and they might be tricky to use them. So I like to do this, and I like to show how I like to make them right here. You always want to have it over the background, but under all the other players. So you have this going on. So what you do is you go something along like this. And you always want to space it out to see how it goes. It doesn't have to be even on any sides. Then what you want to do is you want to add the hue saturation to your main primary color. So if you think that, for me it will be green, so I will have it as a green. So the hue saturation will look as green. And it's like, what to do now? What you want to do is you want to go into blending options, and it's all about the opacity, the fill opacity right here. 0, then you could, I would say something along like, if you want to make it extra, you want to do 18. Anything above, it'll show the white more, but this will just be an overlay of the true player. After we have the dots, I want to show my 2K21 logo that will literally help everyone. So speaking of 2K21 logo, it brings out, it is more bold to everybody. So yes, right here, then you always want to stretch it out a little bit more, not too much, but avoid empty spaces. That is one of the biggest keys into making thumbnails. Avoid empty spaces and avoid any type of just any type of bad cropping in general. So there is a lot of mess ups on my cropping. I do need to finish that, but once I finish this and this, it will look way better.
The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways.
After we're done with the 2K logo, what we want to do is we want to grab our border, which is from the 200 subscriber pack. You can choose any type of borders, or they're called dividers. And these dividers, they are big. They are literally so thick, pause, but these are big. So what we want to do is we want to have it like this, and put it right behind the player like this. Cause you're probably asking, what will this do? So what you'll do is you're gonna use your pen tool. You're gonna put it right here, crop it. It doesn't have to be too straight on this area, but you could have it like this. You make your own selection, and you could put any color as this. So for me, since BC is wearing yellow, I will put this as a yellow type. And yeah, you got your own thumbnail. So what I like to do is have the 2K logo over it, simply just me, or above it. Fix it above right here so it can really show the true player. Then after, you always want to have your color correction. So your color correction is from right here of the 200 subscriber pack, and the color correction is quite strong. Look how strong it is. It literally turned BC, it literally turned him orange. Crazy. So you always want to stretch out layer CC2, which is color correction, group 2, down so we can create that effect. Then right here, it always has like it's uneven with this. So what we want to do is have it up. And once we have it up, this makes a more bold thing. You're probably asking, why? How can I change it to not make it look strong? In color correction group 1, you always want to go right here. You go right here. You want to make it into a group, which is Control G, and put it under the layer. Then you want to do is you have it open like this, and it makes it into a better thumbnail. I do not consider using Kappa 6. I don't think it's useful, so we're just gonna leave that as that. Then after, you always want to have some effects, because right now it looks pretty bland. It looks pretty bland right now. It just looks like a normal thing. So from this, I was able to get this right here for the recycle pack. And you're probably asking, how can I use this? I literally use this in everything. What I like to do is I like to do the hue saturation, And since there's two colors, I like to use the other color blended so it can be shine through. And look how nice that looks right there. For this one, I always want to use a green type for the player, depending on where the effect I would like to put it at. So we have the hue, we put it right here, put the saturation right here. Then we have it right here, so there's no empty space. If there's empty space, you essentially lost on how good a thumbnail can be. If there's empty space, you just want to add stuff that make it not look empty space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up my PSD, which I will leave in the description, and it's a gaming text that will help you in every single way. You guys can also search up a tutorial for this from Edward DZN. It really helps out, and there is a PSD in his description. So I'm gonna put this as my button. With our text right here, you do need Burbank condensed, which is also as black. Then you want to do is you want to duplicate layer, go over, press shift on both of them, press Control G, create, then you duplicate the layer, press Control E, put it under, right click, select pixels, go to select, modify, expand, then raise it to about 10, and you want to choose a color that's appropriate for this type, since it's a big gradient of yellow and you always want to choose something that's lighter, like this. Could this work? Yes, it does. After you do that, you want to do a right click. You're probably asking what's going on, so you're gonna do select pixels again, but you're gonna make it even more darker. Put it under here, then press deselect, put it under here, then you got your own 3D text. I do consider moving this one right here into a darker color, but if you want to simply have it like this, feel free to have it. The next one we're going to pull up is a 3D text that will literally help anyone, and this is text number 4. You probably saw this in Fortnite or any type of like gaming dominant thing. So you want to have it right here, like this. Yes, that. You do have to angle it a little bit because it was angled in the PSD. I will also leave this in the description. Then you want to have the adjustments of the hue saturation. Then you want to make it into a green type. Oh, wait, hold on. Give me 1 second in that. It did glitch out for me, so I will be doing it again. Make it into like a darker green. Press blending options because it will be light. Then you want to add like a drop shadow. Mess with the spread. Mess with the distance. Put it to the point where the spread isn't as strong, but the size is. Then after you have that, you could have something like this. Have it take over. You don't have to add anything. All you have to do is just make the color white or any type of color you want to. I consider white because white pops out the most. Then you want to angle it to the point where it's not overlapping any type of corners or anything among like that. Then after, I like to grab something from the 200 Dragon Pack, and I like to grab something like an icon, like You could grab anything. You can grab a Make a Wish logo. You could literally grab anything. But what I'm trying to do is trying to get a 2K logo over my man BC right here. And that is how you create a thumbnail. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know a lot of people are asking for my help. I'm JRef, and I'll see you guys later on.